Yeah. Speaking of Patriots reminiscing and whatnot, you being up on Bill Belichick's Twitter, someone was in Bill Belichick's text messages
Yeah.
and doesn't look great for the
No.
NFL right now.
Yeah. So basically, Bill Belichick texted Brian Flores and said, "Sounds like you've landed. Congrats." And Flores is like, "Did you hear something I didn't hear?" Belichick's like, "The Giants?" Question mark, exclamation, question mark. Belichick types with this many exclamations. But but Flores is like, "Well, I interview on Thursday. I think I got a shot at it." Belichick says, "Got it. I hear from Buffalo and New York Giants that you're their guy. Hope it works out if you want it." Flores says, "That's definitely what I want. I hope you're right, coach. Thank you." And then he thinks for a second, "Coach, are you talking to Brian Flores or Brian Daboll?" Just making sure. And Belichick basically
Oh,
says, "Sorry, I fucked this up. Double checked and I misread the text. I think they're naming Dayball. Sorry about that. BB."
so
Thanks,
pretty
Bill.
funny that Bill Belichick obviously just has a bunch of Bryans in his phone and doesn't
Yeah,
have like last names or
no
anything.
last name.
But yeah, pretty, it kind of messed up. You can't be just giving people the job and then just fake interviewing people. That's kind of messed up.
What's even more messed up, I think it was the Broncos that interviewed him, and he said he showed up and John Elway
And
was an
John
hour
Elway was
late.
disheveled.
John!
Yeah, and he said he was an hour late to the meeting, and they didn't even like
Yeah.
consider, like, he could tell it was just a Rooney Rule interview or whatever.
Well, they wanted Nathaniel Hackett.
It's just, I think at the end of the day, it goes back to the Rooney Rule, because I think the premise of the rule is smart, or is like a good thing, but I think
Yeah.
just incentivizing them to just interview a coach, they have to interview a coach. So somebody, no matter who, if they know they only want one guy, like if Bill Belichick was out there and you only want Bill Belichick, you have to invite someone else, even if you know you're not going to hire them. So it should be
Yeah.
like if you hire a black coach, you get the third, or the minority coach, you get the
Sure.
third round pick or whatever
Yeah.
it is.
I definitely agree because you can't just have that because it is just like setting dudes up for failure pretty much.
Yeah.
Now, since this has happened, obviously it's blown up as a huge, like, NFL is racist. There's
Yeah.
32 teams. There's no black owners. There's only one minority owner, Shad Khan. But do you think this is like a racism problem, or do you think this is, like you're saying, just like a Rooney Rule problem?
I think it's a Rooney Rule problem. I think the owners might like be racist in some regard, where they might only want white coaches, but you can never tell that because that's the personality of the
See,
owners. But
I
like, you look at guys like Mike Tomlin, his own coaching staff doesn't have black people on it sometimes. So
yeah.
it's like 80% of America is white people. So it's a majority of anything is going to be white people.
Yeah, I just think anytime you try and, like, obviously diversity is good and it's the goal, but I think
Yeah.
anytime you try to like force it, it's gonna,
Yeah.
like, problems are gonna arise. So I think it should always be based on like merit and who's best for the job. Like, what was David Culley, that's the Texans guy.
Yeah.
Like, when that happened, people were saying that was racism and stuff. And I think that's just because he sucked
Yeah.
and they knew the whole time that he was just like a placeholder guy.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah,
But
racism.
I do understand what Flores is saying though, because if you look at the coaching like pool this time around, he's one of the more qualified people. Like, the
For
fact that
sure.
the Dolphins fired him was so shocking to everyone, because he was a
Yeah.
really good coach.
Well, so that I think is because he didn't get along with the owner. And clearly, the other stuff that is blowing up with that, where the owner allegedly said he would pay him 100 grand for every
Yeah.
loss so they could get the number one overall pick.
Yeah.
And Flores said, "No way, Jose, I'm not doing that." So clearly, that was like just an organizational thing.
And also, so people are saying, well, they could have took Herbert anyway. Well, guess what? I'm pretty sure, and I've heard a lot of rumors, and like I see a lot of Dolphins Twitter too, just being a Bills fan, that they wanted there or that Flores wanted Herbert, and the owner kind of overruled him and took Tua.
Yeah.
So he wanted Herbert. He didn't like Tua. He knew Tua was kind of trash. So that's why he put Fitz in half the time. And then he was trying to trade for Deshaun Watson. He was willing to give up the house for Deshaun Watson. That's where all the rumors came from. That's not the ownership. That was Flores, who has the relationship with the New England guy. I forget his name, the GM or the head guy at Houston, former New England guy. He's the one that he was talking to and trying to get this Deshaun Watson thing going. So he didn't like Tua. So it's like that's another thing that the ownership like overrode him even when he had a better decision.
Yeah. But again, like that there, I don't think that's like a racism issue.
No,
I
they
think
took
that's
the
just football.
like Hawaiian black guy over the white guy. Like
Yeah.
I don't think it's a racism issue,
But
but
and,
it is
and
weird
another
that there's
thing,
only one black head coach.
yeah, well, yeah. But I don't know. I think it's weird that like someone like the enemy, it still isn't getting interviewed. I don't understand that.
There's got to be something there because this is the second go around where no one is even. And then I forgot one of the newer teams has the Chiefs' former assistant GM as their GM right now, and he didn't even offer him a interview.
Mm-hmm.
So like you look at that and you're like, well, that's something going on there because like the Bills' assistant GM just got hired in New York on the New York Giants, and he instantly interviewed Dayball. So like if you're not interviewing your former guy, then there's something weird going on there.
Yeah.
And I know he had
So,
legal issues and stuff too in the past.
yeah, I don't know. All I know is racism is definitely a problem, but I think it's getting kind of like blown up in this instance. I saw Flores, I think he was on CNN, and he was talking about how the NFL has like plantation mentality or something where it's like a bunch of rich white people getting like primarily black workforces to like do stuff.
That's so
And
ridiculous.
like, I mean, that is any professional sport, like you could say that for any
Yeah.
job that is like the boss is like a white dude. And there's like, I don't think everything has to be like slavery.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's not
I
like,
would be playing in the NFL if I could. Like, that'd be
yeah.
sweet.
Like I guarantee you, if a black guy had the money and bought the Broncos
Well,
right now,
yeah.
like it's not they're not going to turn you down if you offer them 5 billion.
No,
Everyone's offering 4 billion.
no,
Like
exactly.
it's
Like if Jay-Z said he wanted to buy the Broncos,
yeah.
I think everybody would be cool with that.
Like Michael Jordan owns part of the Hornets, right? Like Patrick
I
Mahomes
think so.
owns part of a baseball team. Like what's
Yeah.
it's just
So,
if you have the money and maybe getting the money, there's some kind of racial thing going on, but like you don't know at the end of the day.
well, I do think for somebody to buy a team, all the owners do have to pass it. So I could definitely see like an issue, like let's say Jay-Z did want to buy the Broncos, but he didn't get the votes. Like then it'd be like,
Yeah.
okay, well, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
But yeah, right now I think it's just like kind of a numbers game. But yeah,
Yeah.
I
But
personally would love to see more African American and a lot of other races in coaching positions in the NFL. I think that'd
oh
be
yeah.
dandy.
Yeah. But have you seen any of the conspiracy theories about the Bill Belichick text to Brian Flores?
A little bit. I think you need to like finger your camera or something.
It's getting out of. It'll be all right.
You're a little fuzzy, but okay, go on.
But basically, like PFT commenter said, can't believe Bill Belichick accidentally sent text messages implicating the only team to beat him twice in the Super Bowl. But so not only that, but I think someone was saying like Belichick doesn't like the Giants because they told on him for Deflategate or something like that too. And it's like he seems kind of too smart of a guy to just be fucking up like that.
Oh dang, I messed up, Brian.
Yeah. And like signing his name at the end of the text after they had a whole conversation.
Yeah, this
Like,
is
oh,
in
by the
fact
way,
Bill Belichick.
I am definitely Bill Belichick, and I did say this. Like,
I don't know. That is just how old people text, like
yeah,
especially with the exclamations and question marks.
yeah. I don't know, dude. I could see it being a Bill. Like, I think Belichick thinks a couple steps ahead, so I wouldn't put it past him. But I don't know.
No, me neither.
Yeah, and then
But
some other spicy news in the whole dossier per se was that apparently the Giants coaches said that Brian Daboll wasn't happy with Sean McDermott and would be interested in leaving if not for a head coaching position.
so you're saying he would have gone somewhere just to be like OC?
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Wow.
And like earlier this season, I think our offense just wasn't clicking at times, and like Dayball was doing a lot of like stupid runs that weren't working. Like the whole line was fucked up, so the offense was just looking like shit, like the Jaguars game and stuff. And I think Sean McDermott like called him out publicly or something, and he got real pissed. But he like turned it around after that. But like
Well, listen,
eventually,
you can't blame that game on Brian Dable. That was Josh Allen trying to win his name back.
well, I'm just saying like the whole season there's shit going on with the offense up until later in the year and then into the playoffs we started clicking. But there was some kind of rift there definitely. And Brian Daboll, like he's probably pissed off about like the whole 13 seconds blown after he just called like the most masterful playoff performance ever. But yeah, Brian Daboll, he's out of there with the Giants now. So, and then the Bills signed Ken Dorsey, who I think is going to be pretty good.
Nice. The
Just a little,
Jaguars still haven't signed anyone, so that's cool.
yeah. I mean, they could get Brian Flores, dude.
They won't. Brian Flores is never going to coach in the NFL again.
You think he's going to get
took
blackballed?
he took a Colin Kaepernick-esque stance, and yeah, I think the same thing is going to happen.
No, I think Kaepernick was like declining physically anyway. I don't think he was.
I think Flores is done now too, dude.
No.
After the Giants situation, he was hurt, and he's done.
I'm sure he'll get signed next week by one of these teams. He's supposed to interview for somebody. I'm pretty sure. Well, I mean, they could have already chose their
Go to
coach.
the Saints or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
But,
the Saints are interviewing him. Yeah.
I didn't know this, that Hugh Jackson is suggesting that he was paid extra for Browns losses.
Yeah. Yeah. He pretty much
I
came
don't know
out and
how
said
you're
that.
gonna. I don't know how you're gonna pay your coach extra to lose when you have like the Bud Light fridge just ready to get unlocked.
Dude, it's probably they probably made a deal with Bud Light. They're like, you guys are seriously not going to win any games.